What's up, everybody? Welcome to Two Peas Pod. This episode is brought to you by Porterville Wholesales, where if you got some liquidated items over there that you need to go buy, if you're trying to get the summer yard ready, go check it out. He's got tons of lawn equipment, outdoor patio sets, indoor, outdoor lighting. You got even paint sprayers over there. Go take care of that backyard. Get ready for barbecuing season and having fun with all the friends. Go check him out at 1902 West Grand in Porterville, California, or go on my Facebook page. Check him out on my Facebook group page as well. He's definitely on my profile, but also pictures are up. Go check out what he's got. DeWalt, Craftsman, Bosch, all the good brands, all of what you need. Go check it out. What's up, my man? Isaias here with me. I'm your host, Patrick. This guy has been a insurance agent for approximately 4 years now, working hard, doing his thing, building his name. What is up, my man? How you been?
Good, man. What's up, man? Been a long time.
Yeah, it has. It's been a minute. You still looking good though.
Hey,
got
man,
that good smile.
I got that dad weight on, bro.
Yeah. Hey, we both be doing that. It's okay. It's okay.
You're looking real slim, bro. You been hitting the gym?
A couple times. I try to get down there at least 3 times a week, bro. I've been well, as you can see, there's a couple of podcasts that I threw up about me being bit chunkers. So I didn't like it. Changed my ways. I stopped eating is what it is really.
I got to do it too, man. I just keep making excuses. I just got to hit the gym and do it.
Yeah, that's how I was too. Well, let's just say I was also a little bit down at the time. You know what I mean? It just was that was the rough times. So rough times bring you different outcomes.
It happens, man. It happens. It's all about overcoming, though.
Yeah, it is. So what's up with you, man? I see you've been building this name. I told you earlier, like I've seen you driving around. Like this is dope, bro. I'm happy for you. What's going on?
I'm just trying to grind, man, and get this thing going. And opportunity came up, and I always, really wanted to open my own business. I just didn't know what, didn't know how. Yeah. And I just like timing was right, man. And I just been working, bro. I've been kind of laying low and, just not really going out much, not doing all the things I used to do. And
right.
Yeah, man. It's been good though, man. Just been living the dad life and getting married this year and and doing work, bro.
Well, yeah, because I seen, don't get me wrong. Like I said, in the business that you're in, it's not an easy business. People think, just because, you got this, you're like, oh yeah, I'm out there and I'm big. Like, no, you have to go out there and actually grind and put yourself out there in a position where you're very vulnerable and doing your thing. Like it's not easy. So to see you doing that, I mean, it kind of fits you with your great personality.
Appreciate that,
you know what I mean? So again,
it hasn't been easy, man. Your learning processes as you're going through it. You grow and go through growing pains. We're in our 4th year now. We had our best year last year, but nice. the first two weren't easy, man. It was rough,
it's that struggle, huh?
Yeah. Everybody, man, like, oh, where you been, Isaias? You've been MIA. You don't come around anymore. Like, you don't come to like the functions that we put together, whatever. It's not that I don't want to. I wish I could. It's just time management, man. It's hard. It's hard, but
now.
You gotta. It's kind of what you're doing right now, man. You're putting in the work and doing this podcast thing. I see you doing it. I've been keeping up with your episodes, and like you said in one of the podcasts, like sometimes you get home late. You're like, man, I'm tired. Do I want to do this? But you gotta stay consistent. I think is the biggest thing that I've been trying to do, and that's why I've been, you got to put yourself out there. It's kind of weird at first, driving around with my big old head on the side of the car was weird, but
I bet.
You gotta do the things you've never done to get the things you've never had. You know what I mean?
Right. And that's how people see it. Like people are gonna recognize you, and no matter what, even if like, okay, don't get me wrong, but even if you're out and someone's like, I've seen you before. You're like, I bet you have. I bet you have.
I'm starting to get that more, man, because I do a lot of, online ads and websites and all this stuff, and in the car and whatnot. And I'll be somewhere and you look really familiar, and I'm like, right, it's working,
Yeah. Good.
Well, I'm hoping it's for the business and not for not for the old me. Probably, yeah. Yeah.
It's for the business. I've been driving around quite a bit.
It's been fun though, man. It's been fun. I got my brother working with me. I got, a growing team, and still looking to bring on some more people, just kind of doing the recruiting right now. And, and like I said, man, getting ready to tie the knot in September and found me a good one, and
I know, and, that's what matters.
And I locked her up. No, I'm kidding.
Right. There you go. But no, that's what matters, man. I mean, keep it real. Okay. And I was just talking to my woman about this, and this is what I told her. It's like, when you find somebody that makes it worthwhile to be grinding instead of out there looking for somebody else, and you keep that goal of grinding, and you can feel it, that's when you know you found the right one. Like, and two, like, to all the women out there that find this, right? When you're finding a man that finds a goal and he sticks to his goal and is super busy all the time, keep him. That person ain't doing nothing wrong. They want to do.
You got time to mess around, man.
Yeah, they don't got no time. If they don't got no time, basically, for anybody, even you, like, they don't got no time to do with anything but anybody else. So they just working. So keep them a little happy.
Oh man, it's all about, finding that partner that pushes you, man. And and when you're having your down days, don't get me wrong, it's and it looks all good and gravy on, on social media and everything. But there's days, man, where you're kind of like, man, what am I doing? Like,
bro, all the time.
Is all this work, worth it right now? But you push through, and you got to have that rock, that helps you get through it, and then you get to, enjoy the fruits of your labor down the road. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, I keep it real. I think a little bit of what you did also boosted up, like, me being able to put my face out there a little bit. Because, we've been friends for a while. I know, like I said, we haven't caught up, but you've been a busy man.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. But, like, seeing you put your name out there, and I seen your car a couple times driving around, and I was like, that's Isaias. Wow, he's doing that. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. But it gives you a little bit more confidence to, to boost yourself out there as well. You know what I mean?
Hey, that's cool, man.
And that was, it was a cool feeling. I was like, oh, if he's going to be able to do that, like, I could talk.
Hey, honestly, this is what I'm learning, man. When I opened the business, my mindset was like, all right, I want to make money, and provide for my family and do those things. And as I started getting into it, and kind of going through the processes and learning about what I'm doing here, I realized it's bigger than just, making money, man. It's you have a purpose to really, like you said, inspire other people who, I see you doing it now. I see Miguel with his, with the wood carving, which shout out to Creations, right?
I was supporting him.
I heard it on the last podcast, man. But I see those things. I see friends that are out there just grinding and putting themselves out there, and it's inspiring too, man, for me, because it's like, man, that's dope. That's what it's all about, is just kind of uplifting each other. And I think that's one thing, going into like the COVID conversation, I feel like that's one thing that, what the silver lining that came out of that, like, a lot of people started their side hustles, man, and started grinding, and even, myself, like I was mentioning, went back to school, got my designation for financial consulting now and stuff. And I did that because of, the downtime, and like, all right, you don't have time to really mess around. So it's cool to see you guys and everybody is just doing their thing, man. Everybody win.
And especially because, like, don't get me wrong, excuse me, but a lot of people, like, did not thrive after COVID. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people a lot of people sunk, and including me for a while. Like, that was me for a while. I didn't know what to do. Just got fired wrongly, but I just got fired at the time, and then, was depressed, did my thing for a minute, and I ended up going to school too. Started doing some schooling and doing my thing, and it didn't go as far as you, but and then I started doing this.
It's been a rough year and a half, man. I finally finished it up, but I actually just got my degree or whatever it is that put up and frame and whatnot. But it felt good, man.
Right.
Like that hard work kind of paying off, and now I get to have a little bit of a life again, and get back out there, spend some time with my kids, and chill and watch some football.
Watch football, huh? Oh, Cowboy. Oh my god. Nah, my woman's a Cowboys fan.
Oh man, so. You got yourself a good one.
Right. No, she enjoys rooting against me sometimes. So
hey, you know what? I can't even talk right now, dude. My Cowboys are a mess.
Well, I wouldn't say a mess. You know what I mean?
They're a mess, dude.
No. Well, okay, look, you still got Dak going strong. You got old CeeDee Lamb over there. Excuse me. You got Gallup.
I mean, is Dak going strong? Is he really going strong?
Not in the last playoff game, but
not in the last 8 games.
No, well, he just came back off the breaking his ankle and he still did good. You know what I mean? You got a chance to keep him going. He's still young. So let's just give him another year. Maybe you guys will pick somebody up in the draft, which would be smart. You know what I mean? Pick up another receiver because there's that's why I think a lot of these people were trading away a lot of draft picks or a lot of high-end receivers is because there's so many people in the draft this year. Pick up a couple of them and do good.
Yeah.
I don't mean to change this into the football.
Nah, don't get me wrong, man. I love Dak, his everything he's been through in his life too. That's inspiring, man. I mean, from losing his mom and all the, when he was in college, all the trouble he got in, whatever, and the ankle injury, that was
it's just all been crazy
for him. So that's inspiring, and I root for him. I hope he turns it around. But yeah, last season was a little disappointing.
Yeah, it definitely was. I'll say it to the fans what we were just talking about is how he I usually have this one hanging or one of them hanging. He just upgraded and outgraded me on the getting a signed Witten jersey frame behind him. I'm like, thanks, man.
Hey, that's something I've had in my closet for I don't know, man, 10 years. It was I want to say back in 2008 or something like that. Probably more than 10 years. My little brother, we went to the training camp in Oxnard, and I had my jersey. It's the Reebok jersey. So that's how old it is. It's not even. And we went to the training camp, and then we saw Witten going out and signing the autographs, and I gave the jersey to my brother. I was like, go get in there. Go get that signature. I'll get you a hat or I'll buy you something here. So I just see him, right? He's holding the jersey up. And then this swarm of people, just all you see, he just starts sinking. You don't even see him anymore. Swarm of people. And then next thing you know, he disappears. And I'm like, oh, please tell me. I'm like, come on. I hope you got it. He comes back out. He's all down and he's like, damn, dude, sorry, bro. I didn't get it. I was like, it's all good, bro. Don't worry about it. Then he whips it open. He's like, just kidding, I got it. I was like, what? So I had it, man. I always tell myself I'm gonna get it framed or whatever, and then it's just been in the plastic, and I've had it in my closet. And then about a year and a half ago, I was finally like, all right, cool. Now I got my little space, and I met a guy through one of my buddies that I know that does a bunch of sports memorabilia. He's got I went to his house where he has his office. It was sick, dude. I mean, this guy had Mayweather belts. He had, Kobe Bryant signed jersey. He said he got it right before he passed away. He had a Michael Jordan jersey when he was 45. He had a bunch of stuff. And so, he was like, yeah, I can get this frame for you and whatnot. And I gave him the jersey, and he got it framed. It looks good, man. And it looks set really up good. right here in my office now. So trying to get the one for the other side hopefully soon. So we'll see.
Right, there you go. Yeah. Keep it real, but that's cool because it set up a goal for you. You know what I mean? You said, I'm gonna get this office. I'm gonna put this thing up. You know what I mean? Since you had that since 2008. You know what I mean? We're in 2022.
Yeah, man.
You've had it up for a little while now, but
it had to be couldn't be more 08, 09. It had to be that long ago because it was a minute. That I've had it. So yeah, man, it was a motivating factor for me, man. At first it was like, all right, I'm gonna build a man cave and put it in my man cave and whatnot. And then kids. So
yeah, exactly.
The man cave turned into the pink room, you know what I mean? So so then it was all right, when I get my office, and I had my home office for a little bit, but it was kind of small. So I was like, all right, I don't want to do that yet. And now it's like, all right, cool. Now I got my space and I'm just gonna deck it out, man.
I'm gonna check it out.
With cowboy gear, baby.
See, that's perfect. Yeah. And see, and don't get me wrong, because it also, when people come in to talk to you, kind of oh, look at that, that's pretty nice. You know what I mean? It looks certified in a sense. You know what I mean? Yeah. Almost like your new plaque that you're about to put up there with the certificate and everything like that.
It's definitely a conversation starter too. I mean, I get a conversation going with every time with customers you're a Cowboy fan? I'm like, yeah, what are you? Yeah. And then they're like, whatever, Packers or whatever. I'm like, I don't know, but he's perfect. You know what I mean?
So. yeah, there you go.
A Saints fan, you know what I mean?
Oh wow, man.
Nah, it's cool, man. But yeah, it's definitely a conversation starter though.
Yeah, I bet. So that's pretty dope. So okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. If anybody's like me, you know what I mean, I always think when it comes to insurance, I'm always like, there's only a couple things I can get insured. I'm gonna get my my house, maybe my apartment or my car. That's about it. Or my motorcycle. People think like that. But I know there's tons of other things to insure, and I know people probably kind of want to know that don't know. So I mean, what kind of things are insurable, I should say?
Oh man, I mean, the jersey, if you got a bunch of sports gear or, memorabilia that you've had collected over the years, you have to make sure that it's set up properly to be able to do that. And make sure that it's insured for the right amounts and whatnot.
Like enough
But the
equity.
biggest thing, I think the biggest misconception is a lot of people, like, they look at insurance as like one of those things is like, I need to have it just because I don't want to get a ticket, or, in case I get into an accident, or I get in a fender bender and, I got to pay my deductible or whatever. But I think that's one of the biggest things that's really helped my office really kind of grow and continue to build a reputation. We get a bunch of referrals because we really, what we try to do is just educate our customer and just kind of let them know, like, hey man, look, here's what insurance really does for you. When you're a kid and you just started and you set up your insurance and you had like the bare minimum coverage because you were just worried about, making the payment, and you kept that and you've never looked at it and made any changes to it. And then 10 years go by and now you got a career and a house and all this other things, you might not have enough coverage, and you don't know unless you sit down with somebody who is going to take the time to learn a little bit about you and what your current financial situation looks like. And then at that point, we just make whatever recommendations based off the conversation we have. And I tell people all the time, like, I don't want to be like an insurance quoter. Like when people call me, I got, friends or whatever, like, hey, how much is it going to be for, this insurance on this car? I'm like, that's like me asking, like, how much is it going to be for my yard to get landscaped? And they don't know what I'm llooking for yet. Right. It's kind of hard. So
without measuring the yard or anything.
Yeah. I try to set the expectation of like, look, I got to sit down with you. We got to talk a little bit. And, I don't want to put you in the wrong type of policy or the wrong kind of coverage. So
yeah, even if they're your friend, it's like, it's no joke. This is my serious business.
Exactly. So it's that's what I really truly like enjoy about it, man. I feel like I've had a bunch of different careers, man, over the years. And this one, like I said, when I first opened it, I was like, all right, let's make some money. You know what I mean? Let's make some money, and now it's like, all right, I feel like I have a purpose, you know what I mean? And I'm helping people really protect what they've worked so hard to acquire over the years, or maybe what they're working for, you know what I mean? And then on top of that, there's all kinds of other things that we can really help out with. But yeah, not to shameless plug, but you know what I mean? That's kind of what we do here at my office. And again, it's kind of what's helped us be successful. We're still very early in the business, but we're growing at a really fast pace, and it's it's fun.
Yeah. And you said you got a good team behind you. And
yeah, man. Yeah. And I'm growing, still looking. So, plug again, if anybody's out there listening.
That's cool. That's cool, man. That's for you, man. No, it's cool to learn that, because like I said, like if you're like me, like I didn't know anything like that was insurable. I was like, oh, okay, well, I got to get my car insurance. And low key, I've probably been in that same boat where I'm just like, oh yeah, well, I think I'm covered, and so, I mean, if anybody is looking to find something out like that, you can always hit up my boy here, by the way. You'll find him.
Things like page. I mean, even like I enjoy photography. That's like one of my biggest hobbies. Like I like taking pictures, collecting cameras, like old antique cameras and whatnot. And it gets expensive, after you start really getting into it. And there's insurance for cameras, like if you get it stolen or gets damaged or whatever, you can put things on your equipment, sports gear, golf clubs. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that you can really, take care of if you invested a lot of money into it. But a lot of people I talk to, man, even myself, before I got into this industry, I didn't know anything either, man. I was like, I mean, I got insurance, I pay my monthly bill, you know what I mean? So
yeah, exactly. I'm good.
Yeah. So
that's cool, man. But it's like, striving to do something like this, it's definitely, like you said, it's an interesting battle. And like you said, you fell off, man. Like nobody had heard from you. I'd seen a couple people, like I'd even seen Bree and stuff like that. Shout out Bree. And just nobody had heard from you. And Angelica, I even see Miggy, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Again, Sub Beach, you know what I mean?
Yep, Sub Beach Creations.
Yeah, so so I seen them and just nobody had heard from you. But it was like,
I know, man. I felt kind of bad because I didn't want people to think like, oh, this fool's like, not want to hang out with us anymore or whatever. It's like, dude, I just, with 2 kids and business and just changing, I had to change up my mindset and my lifestyle, man. Really, to be honest, it was I had to make a lot of life, decisions and really kind of say, all right, Isaias, what are you doing with yourself? Let's figure this out. And it's hard because sometimes, you're stressed out and you're like, damn, I got all these things going on and I miss my friends. I miss, being able to spend that time. But then I know it's like, all right, short-term sacrifices for, long-term, benefits. And I keep having to remind myself that, every day, man, every day. It's a grind, bro. But
I was about to say, is that what kind of kept pushing you through what was going on in school? And
yeah, man, I mean, like, it was kind of the thing. COVID hit, right? And then, with the company I'm with my agency, I had an opportunity where if I get my designation for financial consulting, then I can start offering more products and more like investments and those types of things. So I was like, you know what? I mean, what else am I gonna be doing? You know what I mean? So I did it. I had to go on, online classes after work, and so basically I would kind of work through the day, go home, spend some time with the girls, spend some time with Gabby, and then stay up for a few hours, at night, and do my classwork, and then exams and everything that you had to do. So it was like a year and a half, and that's kind of really like what you're saying. Like I fell off. I like you mentioned, I saw Bree one time. I was on the bike trail, just kind of on my bike or something. I don't know what I was doing.
Bike, and we need to go bike, by the way.
Yeah, I know, man.
Let's do it.
If you can't tell, I need to get the bike. I gotta get ready for
the wedding. For real. Let's go. If you want to, let's go bike, man. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I still have the bike. I just haven't. I gotta dust it off a little bit. So
yeah, me too.
Yeah, I saw her, and she was like, "Man, where you been?" And I was like, "Dude, just working." And just kind of laying low. But like you mentioned, yeah, man. It was the one thing that I just kept telling myself, like, it's just a year and a half or a year or whatever it was. It was like 10 classes or something. And I was like, you just got to sacrifice a little bit right now, and then it'll pay off in the long run. And, now like I said, now I'm taking some vacations this year finally. And, last year I was able to take my girls, on a vacation. And, now I get to have a little bit more freedom to get out there and do things. It's different though. It's not the same fun I had, a couple years ago. It's dad fun now, family fun.
Yeah. But keep it real. I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay, like I had a lot of fun being single, mingle, doing my thing, and then it's like you said, like you get a family, and it just sometimes just things change, and it just kind of makes you feel good, and you're just like, I'm in a good spot, and I want to just keep going. But that dad fun is good fun. It's good old hearted fun.
Yeah, man. I got my two girls. They're 10 and 5, and it's best when I get home. It's like the best thing. Oh, daddy's home. So it's cool, man. I see you, with your boy now, and dad. How's dad life treating you, man?
Not too bad. I mean, keep it real. I'm not gonna lie to you. I probably got one of like the best sons I've ever seen. He don't like to cry really. He's pretty calm. He likes smiling a ton. But he's just like, he sleeps through the night most of the night. He'll wake up at like 9 a.m.
You got him. You got lucky.
Bro, I'm serious. Like, I don't know how he does it, but he does. Because usually, don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna lie, my bedtime is anywhere from 12 to 2 o'clock. Okay, so that's my bedtime, and his bedtime is like 10 to 11, and so he'll knock out around then. And like I said, he'll be out until easily 9 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, dude. You got lucky, bro.
I know. So, well, okay, but sometimes, like even like today, like he woke me up at like 7 o'clock today, and last night I was up kind of late doing some work on the podcast that I put out today. Or I shouldn't say today, but it was a podcast I had put out. But it's just kind of, it's nice. At the time, it's nice. So. It really helps out that
it changes you for sure.
Okay. Let me ask you this, because I've asked a couple of people this, and they give me the same answer. But it's like, has it really sunk in that you've become a dad?
I mean, for me, my oldest daughter, she's almost gonna be 10, bro. So it's very early on, it was a little different, because just having one, it was like, all right, you can still have that personal life a little bit for yourself, which, by the way, man, you can't just be, dad and, business or employee or whatever, like all the time. You got to be able to still enjoy some you time, you know what I mean? But but then, you know, 2 is where it's like now that's when the time, you know, and is it starts creeping, it creeps up on you, man. It's like,
bro,
dude, I was sitting there with the girls last night and I'm just like, man, like when did you guys get this big?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And even now, like I'm like, my hands are full, man. We got the 2 girls, the 2 dogs, we got a cat, so it's like I'm living the full like dad mode. But no, to answer your question, man, it's definitely like sometimes I'm like, do I even know what I'm doing? You know what I mean? Like, am I like,
yes,
you know, you're kind of just learning as you go, you know. My Vida, my 10-year-old, she's about to be 10. She you know, she's starting to like be into like a little more like big girl things, you know what I mean? Like, you know, the music even's changed. She used to be all into like, you know, Baby Shark and, you know, things like that. Now she's like, you know, listening to like Taylor Swift and
radio stuff, and you're
yeah. I'm like, what? You know, Bruno Mars is like one of her favorites.
Slow down.
Yeah, I know exactly. So you're kind of like, dang, like, man, like she's almost, you know, at that age where she's gonna start, you know, asking about boys or whatever, and it's like I'm not ready for that.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not ready for all that.
Slow down just a little bit, please.
Yeah, but you gotta, you know what? One thing I'm learning, and this is all Gabby, man. I credit to her, because I was raised, you know, my mom's obviously very like old school traditional Hispanic, like we don't talk about that, you know, like taboo, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of like the same way. Like I don't, you know, if something comes up, I'm like, just stay away from that. Like don't pay attention to that stuff, you know? Yep. And Gabby's like, well, what do you mean? Like, what is that? You know, and starts asking questions, and what did you think about that? And all this stuff. So I'm like, I'm glad I have that balance, because if not, you know, when something because it's inevitable, something's gonna come up, right? Something like that would come up. I'm like the type, like, go to your room, turn off your phone. I don't want, you know what I mean? So having her, it's taught me so much about communication, bro. So much. Like it's crazy how much I've like learned, you know, from experiences that we've had.
And that's another thing, because like, don't get me wrong, I got a couple stepkids, excuse me, by the way, but I got a couple stepkids now, and one's 14 and one's 10, and so it's been a bit like I jumped into this and didn't get to learn throughout the ways. So at the same time that I'm learning to him, it's kind of like I've already learned all the other stuff now, so I'm like, oh, okay, you know. And I don't know, it's crazy though, but you're right, like people are listening to stuff, doing things, you know, you're kind of like, oh, you're still young, but I want to, it's like you're nice right now, stay there.
And it's a different world we live in these days, man. When we were kids, you know, like none of this, I feel like I hate talking, like I get called a grumpy old man all the time by Gabby, because I'm always like, man, when I was a kid, we didn't, you know, now with social media and everything, you know, it's like they're exposed to so much at a very young age, you know, so you try to do everything you can. Like, you know, my daughter, I told her, you can't have a TikTok, like you're staying off social media. But then all her little friends at school, she'll come home and she's like, you know, oh yeah, I saw this thing. And I'm like, a TikTok or whatever. I'm like, where did you see it? And she's like, oh, you know, my friend showed it to me. And I'm like, you can't shelter them. You know what I mean?
Only mitigate it so much.
Yeah. So all you got to do is, when I'm learning, is, you know, communicate, let them know what's right, what's wrong, what to, you know, what to stay away from. And hopefully they listen, man. But
let them know you love them. Like, look, I'm here for you.
Yep. Be there as much as you can. Being present. I think that's the biggest thing I've learned. That it's a balance that I've tried to kind of figure out. And you need to have that mindset of, when I'm there, you got to be present, right? With the situation I'm in, like anytime I'm home, my mind's always thinking about like a million things at once, right? And sometimes I'm zoned out, and the girls will be talking to me and they're like, are you listening? And I'm like, oh. So I have to like catch myself sometimes to turn that off. And it's hard, but you gotta be present in that moment, because it's gone, you know. Next thing you know, they're 9 and 5. You know what I mean? So like that's definitely something I'm learning, and it's been a learning experience for sure.
Well, and that's what life is. Basically, you got to think about, like, life is just a big learning experience. So, I mean, not only are we sitting here and just doing it, but now, again, there's things that you don't understand at the same time. I feel like that you're trying to understand them while raising a kid, you know what I mean? Like, and that's where you kind of have to slow down, because there's going to be a time where like you're like, I don't know what to do, but they're wanting me to know what to do.
Yeah.
And I still can't tell them like I know what to do, but I'm not going to tell them I don't know what to do either.
Yep.
So we're going to figure this out, but together, in a sense, you know what I mean? Like, that's what it is. And that's hard. That's very hard.
There's no playbook, man. You're kind of learning as you're going. I think about when I was a kid, like I looked at my mom, like I was the oldest of 7, right? So we had a big family, and my mom was kind of back and forth. She was on her own a lot. And I looked at her like she could do no wrong. Like she was like Superwoman. I called her Wonder Woman, and she was like, oh my God, she's my superhero. And and now I look at it and I'm like, dang, like if she was feeling like I'm feeling, like I didn't even know what the hell I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like you said, there's gonna be situations where my kids are gonna look at me and like, like, what am I supposed to do in this situation? And it's like, let's figure it out together, because you don't.
And you know what it is like, don't get me wrong, but it kind of reminds me of a point I made, like where I was talking to my dad, or no, it wasn't my dad, but I was talking to somebody about this. But it's like certain people you look at and it's like, it looks like they have it together so much. Like it looks like they have everything together, and you're just like, I kind of want to be like that. You know what I mean? Like I want to have it together like that. Like, and sometimes like, and it used to happen to me when I, a lot when I'd be, single, had my own spot, would do my own thing, and I'd just work and do my stuff. People would think I had, I had a good amount of money or whatever, and I'm stockpiling and doing all this. Like, no, I was just working my ass off. That's about what we do, So it wasn't like I was doing anything special. It was just, I was doing what you normally do, but people thought I had it so much together when in reality, I was like, I still don't know what I'm doing,
What they say, fake it till you make it, man.
Well, exactly. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what it is. It's like, you just keep going, you keep pushing. Eventually, you'll get there somehow.
Yeah. You just got to find like that purpose of what you're trying to do with, with yourself, with your family, with your kids. Like that's what will push you through, man. I mean, I tell that every day to my team, man. It's all about mindset. Like whatever it is that you're doing in your life, whether it's, working here, or whether it's you're doing a podcast, whether you're, a billionaire somewhere, or whatever, like you have to have a mindset of purpose. And if you have something bigger than just like money, or something bigger than just like what you're trying to accomplish in that moment, all the tough times you go through, all the the downers, like you were mentioning, like, man, damn, I was in a tough spot. I was in a tough spot a couple years ago, man. And that's kind of why I was out and about all the time and just kind of trying to forget about my problems. But then I realized, like, man, I can't keep running away from them. I gotta put my big boy pants on and figure this out, man.
Take that leap. And exactly.
And sometimes, but then that's when you start to figure that out, it kind of starts to click and it starts to make sense. And then next thing you know, you're just like, you're thinking bigger now. You're thinking, big things, but you gotta have that strong mindset and take pride in whatever it is that you're doing.
You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, man. So it's cool, man. It's cool seeing you doing this, bro.
Yeah.
For real. I'm always talking to like, buddies, and I'm like, man, we should start like a podcast or something. You know what I mean? And,
it's a good way to do something. It's cool just to talk. Like, don't get me wrong. I like listening and learning from everybody that I talk to, like I was telling you earlier. And it's just asking sometimes questions or something that, maybe somebody hasn't gotten the chance to, or doesn't know how to, or, so that's why I'm trying to get people involved with it. You know what I mean? And get their input, get Kern County and maybe California, whatever it is, wherever we're at, involved. And just give me some input, show me what they want to hear about and stuff like that, and kind of help them out. But also, like, say they had some questions for you, I'd definitely shoot them your way and do all that stuff, and or bring them back on, and they could ask, like, we could ask.
Well, that's the cool thing. That's the cool thing is, like you were mentioning about getting all the input from everybody. Like, I watched all the episodes you have out so far, and you're getting perspective for sure, man. You're getting perspective from so many different people, you know what I mean? And whether it's just kind of shooting the shit or talking about something, I feel like that's what we need right now, just hear each other out and what's going on. And I mean, like obviously COVID brought a lot of people down, like you mentioned, and sometimes you just got to hear each other out, man, even if it's just two friends catching up that haven't seen each other in years, well, and getting that.
And if you think about it, like our friend group right now, our age group is about to be the next generation of who's around doing it and running businesses and all that stuff. And it's like you might want to know who's next to you in your neighborhood or whatever, doing whatever. And don't get me wrong, I'd like to just like I said, involve Kern County, because who knows, you might just inspire, like say some kids pop on this one day, because I didn't start listening to podcasts until I was in my 20s, you know what I mean? Because I didn't like talk radio as much.
Yeah.
so
that's all I listen to now, bro, is podcast.
Yeah, like I just music isn't as much. Even when I go work out, sometimes I'll just listen to a podcast, and if the podcaster is like if I'm listening to like a NFL podcast or something, and I'm sitting there and they say something about my team, I'll start working out harder. I'm like, well, that's not what they want to do, and so I'm like doing that kind of stuff. But yeah, I do that over like when NFL is on, when the games are on, I'll put the game on while I'm working out and just watch the game the entire time. You know what I mean? I'll watch as many games as I can. So, and this year it's going to be fun. We're going to do a lot more for that. So,
I think definitely with COVID, I feel like all these podcasts, like I started listening to a bunch of them, man. And some of them are like, business related and trying to keep your mindset right and motivational and whatnot. And then some of them I'm just like, dude, these guys just crack me up. You know what I mean? So, and then I especially like these, like people that I know that have started podcasts. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I haven't caught up with Patrick in forever, and just hearing you kind of talk and what you're kind of going, what you got going on right now is cool. You know what I mean? So, man, that's my thing right now. I listen to podcasts all day. Like, I don't really listen to the radio. When new music drops, I'm like, I try to keep up. And my brother's usually the one that kind of texts me, like, oh, check this out. Whoever dropped music.
Well, see, that's me too. But keep going. You said he lets you know about.
He'll let me know, and he'll like shoot it to me, and then I'll listen to it or whatever. But for me, when I'm at home, even sometimes like to crash out, I'll just put my AirPod in and just kind of listen to a podcast to fall asleep or something. But yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, that's like me. Like I'll work. Like that's like when I go to work in the mornings, nobody's there, nothing's open or something. So I'll throw a podcast on and just start doing all the opening stuff and getting that stuff going. So it's definitely a lot of fun. Or sometimes,
my bad, not to cut you off, but I kind of want to pick your brain on that, man. What made you like just say, man, you know what, let me just do this?
So, okay, I've been thinking about doing a podcast for years, you know what I mean? And the first thing for me to do was find out what kind of topic I wanted to put it on. Because don't get me wrong, but I wanted to have friends on and interview people and have fun with that. Not necessarily interview people, but guest speakers. You know what I mean? Like how you came on, and so it was kind of hard, because it's like if I really don't got any followers at the beginning, and I'm not really doing too much, because I was kind of like I didn't like putting my name out there, like you said, too much. So I was like, all right, I'm going to be kind of back here, especially after what I used to do in the past. I was like, I don't want to be out there as much. But the woman I'm with now, she like makes me feel like super empowered. You know what I mean? Like she makes me feel like, she makes me feel great. So it's kind of like, it boosted me to be like, you know what, I'm going to do this and I'm going to have fun doing it. And at first I was just going to do just audio. I was like, just get some audio in there. But the more I did it, I was like, I want to sit here and jump on some video.
Yeah, bro, you gotta show them pearly whites, baby.
Not mine.
That's cool, man. I was telling you, I don't know if I mentioned it before we were talking or while we turned the camera on, but my buddy, we were always joking around how, because we always are debating sports, like either music or sports, like all the time, right? And I was like, bro, when are we gonna start a podcast, man? Like, let's just do this, because we spend all day like texting back and forth about like whatever was going on at the time, and we would always joke about it. And even to this day, like I'll hit him up randomly. Like he moved, he's up in Washington now, but I was like, dude, we could still do a virtual. Let's set it up, man.
Well, yeah. And that's the thing, cool. is you just bring everybody into a conference. That'd be cool. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? So I plan on jumping a couple more people in, maybe not jumping more people in, but having more people jump into
related.
to the podcast.
Hey, well, you know what, man? Who knows? You might inspire me and actually start my own. So,
that'd be cool, man.
Yeah,
that'd be
man.
dope.
We'll see how that goes.
With that.
Yeah.
So, well, hey, I'm gonna let you go tonight because I'm gonna jump off, but I'm gonna hit them with this. Let me know where I can find you at.
You guys, if on Facebook, just Isaias Ruiz, Isaias Ruiz. You can find me on Instagram, Isaias Ruiz Agent. So Isaias Ruiz Agent. And then really those two, Twitter, we're on Twitter too. But yeah, for anybody, has questions or whatever, hit me up, call my office. We can always get you a free quote or whatever you guys have questions on. I'll answer any questions you guys got. So shout out, bro. That's this is cool, man. Keep it going and stay consistent with it. This is dope that what you're doing. And
thank you, brother. Well,
appreciate you having me on, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you being on here. And just FYI for everybody else too, you can also find me at 2Piece Pod. You'll go find me at Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast. I got them all up there, so go check that out. This episode was also brought to you by Porterville Wholesales. Again, get that house ready. They got nail guns, compressors, hand tools, hand saws. They got drills, impact drills. Just go check them out. Pick the stuff up that you need. They'll get you set up to get your house ready. Go look at them. They're over at 1902 West Grand in Porterville, California. Or check them out on my Facebook page or on my Facebook group. Go make sure to check them out. So, all right, though, my boy. It was very good to talk to you.
Good catching up, man.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do this again.
Yes, sir.
Again, if people got questions, make sure to hit him up. If you can't find him, go through me. I'll make sure to get you over to him. So, yeah, I'll talk to you soon.
Keep doing your thing, man.
Thank you, brother.
All right, brother. Take it.